You stupid bitch. Yeah, you're a stupid bitch. You stupid bitch.
Welcome to another episode of Stupid Bitches Say What, the Aussie podcast about everything and nothing, but always with wine, sometimes beer, and other types of alcohol as well. And your hosts, Skylee Collett and Sean Bino Hipkins.
This week it's What's the Haps, where we cover the highlights that piqued our interests over the last 4 weeks that were. In particular, the 2022 Emmy Awards, the war in Ukraine, SlapShots, Sarah Jessica Parker,
Plus.
and upcoming documentaries and TV shows that we are gagging to see.
Gagging.
What you drinking, Sky?
Well, for effect, I'm going to crack it and hopefully not fuck my manny.
Oh.
Go. Okay.
Oh.
Just it smells weird.
That was
just
me.
for
Sorry.
a little bit of a twist tonight. I'm trying to try something new. I'm drinking what's called a squeaky clean, less than 100 calories IPA.
Oh.
And whilst
little
I don't buy into the fucking craft beer fad, as you will.
No. Yes.
I don't mind little creatures. It's a single batch.
Oh.
Don't know what the fuck that means, but we see that on wine too, and we still don't know what the fuck
Yeah,
that means.
exactly. Like there's only one batch, or
Let me have a little sip, shall I?
go on.
Oh, shit, I just poured it down in front of me.
Oh,
Ooh.
it's in the abyss.
Ooh.
Oh,
sometimes, don't you find craft beer sometimes tastes like dishwashing liquid?
I hate all craft beer, all of it. I can try and give a lager craft a go, but that's pretty much it.
I think you've got to drink it on tap too. Like it's got a it's not aniseed. There's something, it'll come to me soon. It's a certain taste about it, but you've got to drink it on out of like a keg, like on the tap. I think you can't fucking drink it in a can. It's just
no. Craft beer is a no-go for me.
Oh, it's marzipan. It's marzipan. You know, fucking marzipan. That's what it tastes
almond
like.
paste.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. And it's just a IPA, but just low calories. Pure blonde, if you will.
It's under 100.
Yeah, that's reasonable.
Would you really say that's low calories though?
Yeah, because like a glass of champagne's one of the lowest ones at 97 calories.
Okay, what about a shot of vodka?
On
the sods. Vodka sods with a twist of fresh lime plus.
Cals. A shot of vodka. 97 calories.
Oh, well, look, just, going toe to toe there, the shampoos and the vodka sods.
Yeah.
We digress. What are you drinking, Mr. Sean Peter Hipkins?
Oh, thank you for asking, Sky. Tonight I am drinking a red wine, if you will. And because we've got a big day tomorrow, someone's got some filming. We've got a birthday party of my husband to go to.
Indeed.
We decided we weren't going to go too hectic tonight. So it was going to be a double bottle, double pod for me. So I decided to just drink some of the half bottles that I've had laying around the place. And this one is a Robert Oatley GSM, which stands for Grenache Shiraz Mourvedre from Mourvedre. It's from the McLaren Vale, and it's 2019. So I have no idea how long this bottle has been sitting around for either. It's been aerated into one large glass.
Because you don't put yours in the fridge, do you, like I do?
Mm.
So you just so you've opened that, drunk a bit of it, and whacked it back in the wine rack to let it just keep getting hot and fermenting.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's nasty.
Look, there is goosebumps that come with the taste of this wine.
Just push right through, baby. Just push right through.
Peppery, if you will. Peppery.
peppery.
And it's kind of, sediment, when it's the sedimentation at the bottom, it's kind of on my lips.
Gross.
But it'll do.
It'll do, pig. It'll do.
That'll do, piggy. How's your week been, stupid batch?
Well,
how's your night been, actually?
Talking about going easy tonight, because I have to do some filming for the latest release from West Gum Productions.
Hanging on the telephone, please.
Yes, I'm in a very, very, very small part compared to the rest of the production, but still notable. It's a notable part. So, I need to be fresh-faced in the morning and ready to go and all dolled up. But
it won't take you a couple of minutes with that natural beauty you have for this.
Thank you. So I was the one who insisted us going light on, but I'll have you know, listeners, I'm now drinking two drinks
she's mixing
simultaneously. So I'm drinking the IPA, which is really for fucking show, but let me have another sip of it. Let me just. There we go. And now I'm drinking just a cheeky little sab.
She loves a little sabby base.
And let's just have a little sip of that too. Hang on. Because I've had a little bit of chaos occur in my house this evening. If you've listened, actually, no, this will be first before the TC, won't it? The true crime.
Yes. We like to give the TC a more sober approach.
I'm going to retell very, very quickly to set a scene. The story that you will hear in the next episode is that my husband got a wisdom tooth removed today. So he's, a bit under the weather. And as he's trying to, relax and lay down and take some time out, while I'm running around like a chook with my head cut off, organising things from the chemist and dinners and podcasts and work and yada, yada, yada. He's swanned out of the bedroom and accidentally locked the door, locking our phones in the bedroom, both of our phones, and also our cat, and not being able to get back in.
And also the incredibly famous sock bag.
Did you hear that?
The sock bag. That's old Biddy goes, that fucking sock bag.
Because I lectured Link tonight about being ready to go on time, because I said, after the podcast, I've been running around all day. You need to be ready to go. Have you got your socks? Your uniform's hanging up in your bedroom. Your shoes are at the front door. Pretty much anything. I said, you need to get your own socks tonight. Don't even dare come and knock on the door and ask me for socks. I will kill you. And he was like, fine. So then we was locked in the door, because I was going to just have one drink and then take him to work. And then after the dilemma that included calling our real estate and saying, use reasonable force to get into the room, and we won't hold it against you because it's an internal door lock that's not functioning properly.
Yeah.
It's not like we locked ourselves out of the house. In amongst all that chaos, I was like, oh my God, the fucking sock bag's in there. He doesn't have any socks to go to work. And then I flew downstairs to see if I could frantically find something out of the dryer or in his room that he had, not noticed. And he was wearing the socks. And he said, Mum, I already got the socks on. It's like,
oh, thank God. You make Mother proud.
So proud right now.
I love you, baby. I love you so much.
So it's been an incredibly stressful day. It's been an incredibly stressful week, actually, because I've been sick and Tyler's been unwell. So now I'm double banging.
Go for it, girl.
Double banging, motherfucker.
You deserve. Have a sip of both at the same time. Go on.
No. That's uncouth. I will not do that.
Come on, it's a podcast. Do it for our listeners.
Yeah. That fucking beer is disgusting. I cannot drink it.
I'm telling you, all craft beer is shit.
Oh, it's horrid. Okay, so how's your week been, you dumb stupid bitch?
Look, my week has been good. As we mentioned, you got some hot filming tomorrow, hanging on the telephone, HOTT, hot filming. We had the filming take place here. I think I was talking about it in our last recording, the day after that recording. And all went well. Vinny did an exceptional job over 2 days of filming, and then they did Sammy's part last week, and she's also done an amazing job. And I'm sure you will also do.
I have a lot to live up to.
You got this, girl. You got this. But we've got Vinny's birthday tomorrow, so we're all going back to our local old haunt, the Shafteston,
But Vinny's given strict instructions that it's not to get rowdy, including my invite back to their house has been completely revoked.
There's no one coming back at all.
After last weekend's shenanigans.
So to fill our listeners in, last weekend was Brisbane Pride Festival. And we started quite early because the march went straight down the street just up the road from us, literally 2-minute walk up from us.
I got picked up at 8 a.m. plus.
We had some breakfast mimosas, ham and cheese croissants, and then we didn't finish. So we started, Sky got here at probably about 8:45, and then Sky left here at 11:30 p.m. She was like, to be fair, there was a lot of action still going on. It's not like we were trying to get her out. There was a lot of drinking happening. And after that,
I don't know. Some of our friends were asleep on the floor, the couch, and in your bedroom. I believe it was once again just the two of us slathering at each other, rewatching the podcast.
We did put on the pop culture episode to start watching that. Even Nat bailed out with an Uber before that, I think, or as we started.
She did bail out.
Yeah, it took us about 7 days. Well, it's taking 7 days to get over it. And so I think he's very petrified that now he'll be 42-year-old. He won't be able to recover, even though it's a long weekend. But
he never recovers well anyway. Do you know, I was thinking today, do you know what the worst part about our binge drinking, if you will, alcoholism, if you
I used to term loosely,
is that Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we're never drinking again, still ruined. It gets gradually better, right?
Seriously having serious thoughts about cutting alcohol out of your life completely.
Questioning our life choices, worrying about whether or not we're a good person or not.
Wasting our weekends.
Feeling super lethargic and disorganized in life. Then you get to Thursday and you think, oh, fuck, I could go a beer. And you think, no, maybe not. But certainly by Friday, you're like, fuck this shit, I need to get drunk.
I need a shit-tasting IPA stat.
It's just when you're starting to feel great again, your health's fully returned.
You do it.
You know,
it's
you're
a cycle.
life again, you're fine, and
do you know
you just put yourself back into it.
Do you know what's terrible? And I said this to Vinny on Friday last week, knowing that we had a big day of sessioning on the Saturday, I was like, I'm actually really looking forward to the hangover on Sunday, just being on the couch, doing fuck all day, blah, blah, blah. And that's part of the whole weekend for us. It's just chilling on a Sunday, doing fuck all in bits. Vinny will lay in bed all day watching fucking Facebook. I'll catch up on the stories on the TV.
I don't mind that part. It's just the feeling like absolute shit and the bad food choices that you make and everything else that goes with it. But tell me honestly, you didn't go straight to bed after I left.
Oh no, I did.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. So I came up. Maria said
I thought you would have been up charging still, listening to music, having a little party for one.
No, Maria said I was a bit swayy when I came back in after you and I were out the front waiting for your Uber. Do you remember what you said to the Uber when you opened the door?
No.
You have to go, hey, buddy. I was like, she's very chipper with him. Hey, buddy.
And then I did the whole, when you start driving and you're like, fuck, it's so far to go until you get home. And you're like, oh my God, I just want to be home right now. I wish I had a magic wand. And then the next thing, the Uber driver was going, we're here. And I was like, oh, fuck, did I actually fall asleep
Pass
for
out.
a few minutes?
I
was like, shit, that was quick.
Oh, that was good.
Thanks,
then. That's
mate.
A win. Yeah, thanks, buddy. But this week I also found out, I don't know if I've told you, I'm going to be going back to studying for a diploma.
Tell me that.
Yeah, so I was fortunate enough to win a bursary at our college and was able to put it towards a diploma of project management.
You won a what at the college?
A bursary. So it was for $2,500 to put towards study and stuff like that. Yeah, they have an annual one each year. So I applied for it, fuck it, and doing a diploma of project management.
Shut the fuck up. That's awesome.
Yeah, so
congratulations. Good for you.
Thanks, stupid bitch. So I got enrolled this week and I started doing it. My first assessment was a literacy and numeracy numeracy test where I had to sort of explain certain shit bits and then look at a case study and do some sums, which I passed, of course. But now I've done all the pre-reading stuff of how it all works. And yeah, so I'll start my first unit next week.
So now you get into the actual having to study to pass the exam.
Yes, and do the assessments and shit. Yeah, there's some role-playing videos that come in with it too. So I may call on your expertise if it's going to be on a Zoom call, seeing as you're
great at role play.
Well, you're an
Love
accomplished actor now.
So does that mean that thing that you won will pay for all of it? You still going to subsidize?
Yeah, no, it pays for it all. So you get $2,500 to put towards something, and this diploma was $4,000. But they had a sale on when I was looking for it, where it was half price, $2,000. So yeah, it covers it all.
So awesome.
So thank you, work.
You little studier. Can I ask you a question? How are you going to juggle our busy social lives, our podcast, and going back to school?
I know. Well, the thing that I do have going for me, Vinny's also studying at the moment. His work is putting a couple of their staff that in the assistant manager's role through a course. I can't remember what it is though, but I think it's a diploma, and he has to do the same, like dedicate some time. Plus you get a little bit of study leave at work as well, where you can use it to do stuff.
This is the one thing that we have in common, isn't it? That we always fight off so much more. Like our lives are complete chaos all the time, and then someone else has to do something else. Like, yeah, sure.
Yeah, okay, I'll do it. Yeah, no, you're fine. Well, that's you doing.
So fun.
That's you doing the canteen lady.
No, running the canteen for the fucking rugby club.
That's hilarious. And that's on a Friday night, so it'll either be podcasting or canteening.
It's a Friday night and a Saturday morning for the juniors.
Oh, do you have to do it Saturday morning too?
Yes, I do.
But is it every second weekend, you were saying?
Oh, it won't even be every second. It'll probably be roughly every third, maybe a little bit more frequent than that.
But we just make it work, don't we?
Yeah, and I'll just get drunk on the Friday nights. Like, I'll just be like drinking behind the fucking bar.
Love that. Yeah, because it's a volunteer position. They can't be like, oh, come on now.
Oh, absolutely. And I did it before. I did it when I didn't run the whole show. I just was a volunteer, and I used to just run the bar, like be the bar manager, and just get shit-faced with all the boys.
Love it. Love that.
But the Saturday is going to be really hectic. But I said to Tyler, but there's heaps of people who are helping out as well. So, and like heaps of like parents who have small children. So like, I'll come.
Yeah.
And just eat a sausage roll in the corner.
And tell them what to do. You're on dishes, go. So it's what's the haps, hey?
I know. So one thing that I didn't talk about that I want, actually, I was tossing up between which thing I was going to go first. We're going to go with this one, actually, because I don't think I've told you about this one. So do you know what tomorrow is, you stupid bitch?
The 1st of October.
Yes, but what else is it?
Well, it's not our first birthday. Oh, and happy birthday, Stupid Bitches Say What. This is our first year of podcasting.
Oh, yes, totally, because we're completely done now through September, because it's October.
Yeah, and I think our first episode came out on the 26th or something of September. It was,
yeah.
So happy birthday to us.
Happy birthday to you.
1 year old.
Yes.
So what else is it? The beginning
of the podcast womb. We're in the podcast womb.
Is it the beginning of the financial year in America?
Okay, well, stop guessing. It's the International Coffee Day tomorrow.
Oh.
Yes. So I thought it was.
How could I forget?
I know, right? I was actually so I follow lots of Americans on Insta. You know, I'm a big Insta person, and so I saw stuff about them saying it's National Coffee Day, and I was like, oh, well, that obviously doesn't apply to Australia. I was just curious because I was looking for content tonight. What's the Haps? And so I did a bit of a Google. I was like, what's Australia's National Coffee Day? And then I saw that tomorrow is actually International Coffee Day. And I was like, oh, done. That's
International roast.
That's fucking going in the podcast.
Oh.
But I thought, let's talk caffeine addictions.
Oh, let's.
I never understand people who don't drink coffee. I'm going to do a shout out right now. The people that I know who don't drink coffee is Nat, Mel.
Interesting.
And
Mel,
my mum.
I thought Mel would thrive on caffeine.
Oh, I say that to her all the time. I was like, why don't you just scull one time and see what happens? Like, you need caffeine in your life. Like,
She'll be on the fucking sewing machine, blitzing out dresses.
I said that to her when I was there for Bianca's birthday. I was like, you don't understand how much better your life would be if you just inserted like at least one cup of coffee a day.
Yeah.
Like, it would totally push you through the hard times. She was like, I don't like the taste. I was like, nobody really likes the taste unless you're drinking like proper lovely coffee
lattes and
from
shit,
like a fucking proper barista. Like I drink fucking instant most days of the week when I don't get out to go to like a proper cafe, just for the fucking coffee hit. I need my afternoon coffee. Like I have my morning coffee and I need my like 1, 2, 3 p.m. coffee to just get me through the rest of the day. If I don't have that, I'm just completely ineffective at life.
Wow. See, I have 2 coffees in the morning. I get up. We have an espresso machine at home, so it makes coffee quite palatable. Ooh. And I'll make Vinny and myself a coffee, but we just have a black one in the morning to try and keep the milk out of it, because you get a little creamer top on the top of the espresso. And then I go to work, and then I do a coffee run at about 9 o'clock, and then that's it. I may have, if someone wants to go out for a coffee in that afternoon, a chai latte.
So if I'm up before Tyler, I will make the coffee. But if he's up before me and doesn't bring me a coffee in bed, it's like about to be fucking World War III. I'm not even kidding.
Yeah, Vinny gets his coffee off me every day, basically. And he will never make me a coffee in the machine because he doesn't know how to use it, he says. It literally is 3 presses of a button or a lift of a fucking thing.
Oh my God, that is such a Vinny thing to say and do.
But he will pop over across the road and get me a barista coffee sometimes.
Right.
And that's pretty much when I demand it. And I go, where's my fucking coffee in bed for once?
I'd say we'd probably average a barista coffee 2 to 3 times a week, because we've got a cafe like literally, 200 meters down the road. Not that I walk there. Well, I do when I do my walks, but if I'm walking, I get my coffee and keep walking. Nice. I don't bring Tyler one back.
What's your go-to coffee?
Mocha. Always has been, always will be. Although lately I don't mind a caramel latte, vanilla hazelnut latte, enjoy.
Oh, nice. I'm just a skinny latte gal myself.
Well, Tyler's just a cappuccino with an extra shot. We're both extra shots every time. Unless it's my Arvo. My Arvo doesn't need to be as heavy on the caffeine as my morning coffee. You
want to be able to sleep well at night.
Yeah. But I get such a big coffee or make a big coffee in a big cup in the morning that it usually takes me a while to drink it as well.
So it's like a soup.
Yeah, so that's why I don't need 2 coffees in the morning. Yeah. I was interested to hear about your caffeine addiction because I knew that you drank coffee, but I didn't know if it was a strong caffeine addiction like mine.
Definitely 2 cups a day.
Okay, so your turn. I've talked about International Coffee Day.
Yes.
Shout out to Nat, Mel, and my mum, by the way. Love you.
Boop, boop. Okay, so I'm doing this one first because I think it's best to get this one out the way while we're semi-sobes. The Ukraine update. So regardless of what you don't see on the news, the war is still raging in the Ukraine. And Russia is currently set to annex 4 more regions within a few hours, apparently. And I don't know how long ago it was I saw this, so...
We were talking about this a little while ago about how the fact, like, when it first happened, you couldn't fucking turn the TV off without it smashing you in the face. Now, it's still equally as bad as it was in the beginning.
They've just dropped it.
No one gives a shit. Like, I mean, the media. Like, I just hate that about the media.
Me too.
Just so bad. It's
and then they'll pull up a news story about some shit story about a shopping centre that didn't serve the correct temperature fried rice. Yeah, it's bullshit.
That's an excellent analogy. It's exactly how it is.
But when they use the word annex, it means he's claiming these regions as part of Russia and the Ukraine.
Oh, I didn't know what that meant.
Yeah, so it's sparking fears of a dangerous escalation in the war, but experts insist the invaders are about to face a massive defeat, which I would fucking love. So President Putin will hold a signing ceremony later or may have held a signing ceremony, which will see Russia formally annex the regions of Luhansk and sorry, and I don't mean to be offensive, I just can't pronounce those words, in Ukraine's east and 2 other regions in the south. The move comes after rushed referendums were held in those regions, with the overwhelming majority of votes supporting the annexation. However, the referendums were universally condemned as shams, with German Foreign Minister claiming that some residents had been taken to vote at gunpoint, which she described as the opposite of fair and free elections.
So where's the US in all of this?
Well, everyone's staying out because as soon as they get involved, Putin's taking it as an attack on Russia and nuclear war will start.
But doesn't it mean that if he gets more control over greater regions, it makes him even more powerful, so more dangerous?
I think, yeah. And look, I don't know too much about the politics behind it all and stuff, but I think, I don't know. Look, I'm not even going to comment because I don't know. But one of the big issues with him doing this... He's going to kill us when he hears this.
I know, because we're fucking dummies.
So one of the big issues with him doing this, though, is that any future attacks on those areas, he declared, would be considered an attack on Russia itself and could be defended with nuclear weapons. And he's such a mad bastard that, to do it. Like Kim Jong-un is equally as mad, but doesn't have really the sort of power or the technology, and I think is too narcissistic to blow up the world. However, apparently while Russia prepares for annexation, or has done it, Ukrainian troops have been ramping up plans to recapture the town in the north of one of the regions that he's annexed. If successful, it would pose a major setbacks for Putin's plans for the region, which becomes a major focus of the invasion after Russia's earlier failures, such as when they planned to seize the capital Kiev and the second city, Kharkiv, where troops were met with fierce resistance, causing Russia to quickly pivot its strategy and instead zero in on the industrial Donbas region. So if they succeed in capturing Liman, it would provide a major moral boost. If the Ukraine succeed in capturing it back, it'll provide a major morale boost and could also lay the foundation for Ukraine to progress into the nearby Luhansk region, which would leave Putin's plans for the area in tatters. It seems like things could be going Ukraine's way, with former Swedish Prime Minister Carl Bildt declaring on Twitter, the situation looks increasingly precarious for Russian forces in Liman, as Ukrainian forces are about to cut them off, adding that another painful defeat for the Russian invasion forces is looming. So that sentiment was echoed by the US think tank, the Institute for the Study of War, which agreed Russia faced imminent defeat in Liman, which would be fantastic if they did. The body claims Ukraine have already taken villages near Liman and noted that the Russian military bloggers had expressed increased concern. So it's interesting that you have Russian military blogging, isn't it, over the Liman situation this week, suggesting that Russian forces in this area may face
it's all about the
imminent
propaganda,
defeat.
isn't it? It's all about trying to get a certain message out.
Well, this is true, yeah. And
how else would they get it out in today's times?
Whether it's real or
Facebook.
not, they don't give a fuck. Totally. Hi, I'm
Facebook
coming to you live from
checking in.
Yeah. Send. So yeah,
you shouldn't laugh. Apologies.
Oh, of course,
fun.
of course.
It's not funny at all.
So while all this shit's going on, it looks like I'm still surprised actually in how long it's been going on that the Ukraine have been able to hold off so long, or hold forces. So hopefully there are some under the table deals going on, or shit getting shipped in from allies that they're just not declaring.
Yeah, right. All right, on to something a little bit brighter, shall we?
Fuck me, this wine is fucking harsh.
That was me. What was I drinking the other week that I couldn't stomach either?
It was hilarious.
And I ended up just chucking it out, I think.
It's like, look at her face. For the people at home, you can't see this.
It wasn't as bad as that fucking Coke, that cherry
sour
Flavoured,
cherry beer.
fucking sour cherry.
So you can get away with fruity wines and fruity ciders. Get away with that because cider's made from fruit originally.
Well, I just thought it would make it easier because you know how I love everything cherry. Everything
Yes,
cherry. Like
yeah.
I've never met a cherry flavoured thing that I didn't love
Agreed.
until tonight.
Yeah, see, I like everything cherry except for cherries.
I love cherries. But cherries don't taste like cherry
Flavoured thing. It's like bananas.
Cherry.
Yeah. Lolly bananas taste better than fucking.
See, I
real
hate
ones.
the taste of like flavoured banana stuff, but
I
like
love
bananas.
that.
Yeah,
see,
no,
yeah.
I hate it. So anytime there's a banana flavoured something, I'm like, no thanks.
I had a banana vape the other day. It was delicious.
Don't ever make me vape it. I would vomit on you.
So I did just speak to Vinny quickly during our little bathroom break then, and he said, I heard you talking about the Ukraine. So the annex thingy has already happened. It's occurred, and they're calling it a sham. So guess what the percentage of the people who wanted to go to Russia out of the 4 regions was?
Like 2%.
No, because remember they were held at gunpoint and it all passed.
Oh, right. Okay, 99%.
98%. Is that not just a fucking, what vote has ever gone that way?
Never.
Yeah.
No way.
Loser.
Okay, so I'm going to talk about an internet fad that I've been tagging you in a little bit recently, which the first video that I tagged you in, I did not realize that it was a fad now, but since then I just consistently see, and Instagram is not like TikTok or Facebook. You know how you get those weird fucking snaps of videos now? I hate it. And they're always shit videos too. And you click on it because you're a little bit intrigued by what first comes up, and then you watch and you're like, why? This is the dumbest video I've ever seen. I hate that I've given them a view from clicking it because it's so shit and they think it's good now. But this is just from the actual pages that I follow. It's the SlapShots or hurricane shots. Now you have something that you want to talk about that whole SlapShot thing.
I do.
But basically, if you don't know what it is at the moment, what I'm seeing, and please, if you know more than me, because I did try to Google it and I did Google a couple of things about it, so I'll talk about what I have found on the internet. But if you know more, particularly if you're in the younger generation, I'm sure you will. I'm sure Link will tell me if I ask Link, he'll be like, "Oh, Mum, for fuck's sake, it's this." So the first video that I tagged Bino in was this chick going up to like a little booth, and she paid her money and she got a little shot and she had a shot, and then the chick who gave her the shot turned around and fucking slapped her across the face with paint on her hands, didn't she? And left a big paint print, but she proper hit her, like not a little tap, like
the girl,
whack.
Yeah, the chick's face at the end of it was like a bit shocked that she got slapped so hard.
So since then, I've seen a bunch of other ones, but there's other ones where you have a shot, they throw water in your face, then they slap you.
Yeah, that's called the hurricane slap.
Hurricane slap. Yeah. And all the hurricane shot. And
hurricane shot. Sorry.
Apparently it originated in Florida, I think. Again,
well,
please correct me if I'm wrong on that one. But
no, because I think at the moment Florida's going through a hurricane and
yeah, so it's like they go and get a shot, they get water thrown in their face, and then
a big slap.
I don't know how you feel about that, but I certainly have very sensitive facial skin. I don't want to be slapped, and I bruise easily. Plus, my skin will burst open with like a little cut if I get hit too much.
It's not for you. Well, Matt,
I would certainly enjoy slapping somebody.
Yeah,
I don't want to be slapped
bar.
Back. Yes, I don't want to be slapped back.
Well, back in the day in our youth, Matt Deegan and I used to, when we'd be trashed, do a thing where you'd stand there, kind of like what Vinny and Tyler were doing with the tea towel and knuckles, but it was slaps on the face. You'd be like, why? And you'd have to brace it and shit. But yeah, when I worked in EOS, the Greek Isle of EOS, in 2009, there was a bar there. I'm sure it was called Slammers or something like that. And it was the same sort of concept, except you went and you asked for a slammer shot, whatever it was, and then you put on a hard hat, and then there was an array of implements you could choose to get then smacked over the head with, whether it's a fire extinguisher, a sledgehammer, shit of that sort. And so you'd have a shot and then get smacked on the head with a fucking sledgehammer with a hard hat on.
And it's not good for you even with a helmet on. Like I've said, that hard hats are not there to be purposely smashed. They're there to protect you from things that fall on you accidentally.
In the event of.
And
And
my
I don't get
real,
what the thrill is. Yeah, it's like
I
getting a
don't get
donkey
it.
punch. Yeah,
I
like
do not get it
it's not
at
my jam.
all.
Yeah.
And it's not because I don't condone violence, which I don't. I don't condone violence. Actually, I do like a good fight in football. But that's where I draw the
And you
line.
do like the cage fighting, or what do they call that? Street fighting, those fights you see. UFC.
You mean boxing?
Is it boxing?
And UFC. That's a fucking sport.
I
That's
know,
different.
it's still violent.
These are trained professionals. It is, but they willingly go into that situation. It's so different to this. It's so different. And I guess you could call it violence. I guess a lot of people would say that, but it's a sport. You know, you got to let that one go. But I'm very concerned that both Tyler and Vinny will listen to this simultaneously, and next time we're together, they'll be like, I can just see them at our bar downstairs. Just
You know what it's going to be, though?
Your turn.
You know, it's going to be slap snorkels. They're going to do a fucking slap double snorkel,
Oh
a double
my
slap
God.
snorkel.
It's so bad. But then when I was researching the SlapShots, one thing that did come up was a game called, because I googled SlapShot, and there's like movies and heaps of sporting references and stuff like that, and hockey, I think it is maybe. And then I searched SlapShot alcohol. And then when I got that, I got much better hits. And then one thing that came up was a slap shot game where you actually go around, and then whoever like ends up, so you're in like a circle, sort of like, you know, pass the parcel, goon of fortune, if you will, whatever game you're thinking of that starts in a circle, you go around different people. But whoever it lands on or whatever, they're the person that ends up getting the shot and the slap. Or
okay.
Or maybe if you have the shot, you get to pick the person who gets the slap. Like, I'm just like, what an aggressive game.
Yeah.
And also certainly not girlfriend. Well, actually,
No.
the video we saw, it was a chick who willingly went up and had the shot, and she got slapped with paint, and she had a big paint print.
Yeah, I think it would be, they would have to have women doing the slapping, especially for women. Like, they couldn't have a guy up there.
No,
Yeah.
that's really bad. But apparently it's a fad, and my feed on Insta is just flooded with it at the moment.
Yeah,
like,
and it's been around for years. Like I said, 2009 was the fucking sledgehammer shit. I don't get the fascination. You have a shot and then get a bash.
Fuck, I'm concerned about Vinny and Tyler now. My God, we've just opened a whole fucking another Pandora's chest,
We have.
haven't we?
And we're not cutting that either. It's a segment. Shit.
Over to you, stupid bitch.
Okay, so I'm going to talk about, now we've touched on this briefly in a couple of episodes, I feel, and if we haven't, then it's either been a segue that's been cut or just drunken banter. The House of Hammer.
It was something that we cut. Yes, continue.
So basically in January 2021, so it's based on Armie Hammer and his family. So basically in January 2021, several women came forward with allegations of severe abuse at the hand of Call Me By Your Name actor Armie Hammer, detailing encounters of emotional abuse, gaslighting, sexual violence and rape. Not to segue, but have you seen Call Me By Your Name?
No, I haven't.
We went and saw it at the cinema. It was okay. It wasn't too bad. It's a gay movie. So it's about a guy who's a mentor for some kid, Timothy Chalamet.
Yes, I know the movie. Yeah, I know the film now that you say that. Yeah.
Italy, I think it is. And they develop a sort of love affair and blah, blah, blah. It's not bad. I've only seen it the once. I wonder if I should rewatch. Anyway, the tag on IMDb for this House of Hammer TV miniseries is debauchery, deceit, abuse, addiction, corruption. Over the course of 5 generations, the men in the Hammer family have more secrets and scandals than any vault can contain. Armie Hammer's alleged crimes are only the tip of the iceberg.
According to the aunt, his aunt.
Yes.
Who's seen other generations, obviously.
Yes. And she's coming clean, yeah. Through a trove of archive and interviews from survivors and family members, the dark and twisted secrets of the Hammer family come to light. Behind the money and power lies a dysfunctional dynasty with its male characters exhibiting all the devastating consequences of privilege gone wild. So it sounds like it'd be a great watch, like a really interesting watch. But the fact that it's all current and true makes it a bit fucking.
But it brings into the whole like the BDSM stuff. Like people are genuinely into that. Like
Yes,
that
of
is their
course.
thing, and like no judgment as long as it's consensual.
2 consenting adults, yeah, well,
I
or 4 or
guess
5, as long as they're all
I
consenting.
guess if you're into it and it's your thing, and no one's actually getting like coming out like as a victim,
Yeah,
then I guess
you do
live and
you,
let
babe.
live and let live, right? But there is like it strikes me as he's like a big BDSM person and has perhaps chosen the wrong partners to push that
to
out
do
of.
it with.
But there's also claims that it stems from some evil background and upbringing and
privilege
choices.
Yeah.
Privilege, yes.
Yeah. So the things that in some of the stuff I read about it with one of the main victims, I say main victims is in one of the people that have come out and shared a lot of their stuff, he would say things like basically, I want to own you, you are my property and blah, 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 which as you said, there's the subs, there's the masters, that works. But when you're just saying it to someone who's not into that shit, that's when it becomes the gaslighting and abuse
There's a fine line, isn't there? There's a very fine line.
100%. And but then there's the cannibalism claims as well, like where he says he wants to eat them. He said to one chick, actually, the one I was reading about, he wanted to know what her ribs tasted like. He wanted to have a rib removed and fry it up and eat it. And that's Jeffrey Dahmer territory. Oh, speaking of which,
nasty fucking shit right there.
Are you interested in watching the Dahmer story on Netflix?
It's too dark. And you guys were talking about it last weekend. And from what I heard from the first episode alone, from what you were talking about, it's not for me. It's definitely too dark for me. And certainly Tyler would have
Tyler wouldn't watch
probably
it.
Just from watching the trailer. But apparently, what's his name? The guy who's in it, the one we love,
Evan Peters.
Evan Peters. Oh, love him.
Yeah, he's amazing.
Yes, and I've heard that. And I love him so much that I would almost maybe think about watching it, but I couldn't watch it alone. I'm a bit of a chicken like that. I can't watch certain things by myself. Like horrifying things, and knowing that Tyler won't watch it with me, it's probably never going to be something that I'm ever going to put on.
Well, there's 10 episodes, I'm pretty sure.
My sister, on the other hand, she likes some fucking.
Well, I'll totally watch it again as well.
She would probably watch it with me.
Yeah, I'd rewatch it because, there's 10 episodes. We did the first one and a bit, and then sort of stopped it after that because I was eating KFC when we started the second episode. And I'm like, I can't watch this while I'm eating, especially off the bone.
Last weekend.
But then on Sunday, after Pride, we binged watched the rest of it all day in bed, and it's very interesting. It's very well done, and I'll totally watch it again.
And who did it? Was it Ryan Murphy who did it?
Ryan Murphy,
of course,
another Ryan Murphy.
Yes,
and he always likes Ryan Murphy. And he always likes his same people as well.
Yeah.
But anyway, another little tidbit I found out about Armie Hammer, and you'll like this. So his great grandfather Armand, he was involved in the Watergate scandal.
Yes, I think you were talking to me about this the other night, actually.
He was the dude who paid off the burglars, and he pled guilty for his involvement, however, was pardoned in 1988 by George Bush.
Because of all of his money.
Yes.
And connections.
And it's, how we were saying we couldn't find the House of Hammer in Australia anywhere. It's coming to Foxtel's ID channel on October the 8th.
Right.
So I'll be able to fucking see it finally.
There you go, and then tell us what it's about and what it's like. I mean, but I did see a few things. I've seen like a few things come up on my true crime feeds as well about stuff about it. It looks riveting. I would watch that. I would on my own. House of Hammer, but I wouldn't do the Darwin one. No way, Jose.
Yeah. No, it's very good. All right, what's your next one, you stupid fucking bitch?
Okay, so my next one is let's talk about the Optus hack.
Oh, of course. That is totally what's the Haps.
Yeah, totally. So what I really want to know, and people please tell me this, and you can tell me this, do I need to go and get a free new license from Queensland Transport?
Are you Optus?
Well, Tyler is. So Look, I've been Telstra all the way. They are absolutely fucked with their customer service, but there's no question that their service is better. Although, my experience when I moved into this house and what a fuck around it was, then they charged me like $300 for sending a tech out, which they told me they wouldn't. Then they told me they'd give me the money back. It took me about 6 months. I only just got the money back last month after making probably about 10 separate complaints, and they finally credited me the money back. Plus credited me for like time spent and shit like that, and like turned around. But it took me like hours of time complaining, writing complaint emails before it ever. And that's the whole, in a nutshell, what happens with. And Optus is just as bad, really. With Telstra, like if your service works, it's great. You have a great service, you have no dramas. But anytime you have a problem with Telstra, you are absolutely fucked because they're useless at fixing anything. But So I've always been Telstra. I went in to get Tyler's new phone one time because he's an Optus person. Right, home internet's Telstra. My phone and Link's phone were always Telstra. Went in, the salesman completely fucking, and I'm normally good at telling salesmen to piss off, gave us this amazing deal for 2 phones. My phone was smashed. Like, it ended up, we were paying so much less. So I was completely brought into it. Biggest regret I ever have is going with Optus because the service is shite. But when I saw this Optus hack, I was like, fuck, to get a fucking new license. And now like New South Wales, Service New South Wales, which is the equivalent of Queensland Transport up here, they're like, we'll give you a free license if you've been if you've been, impacted by the Optus hack, go and get your free license, blah, blah, blah. Both states are doing it. I'm sure other states in Australia are doing it.
Like, and they're charging Optus, yeah.
But I feel like the level of breach that has occurred, there should be way more penalties. So really, tell me, do I need to go get a new license?
Look, I think if the hassle that would come out of getting a new license would be less than the hassle if your identity was stolen.
Couldn't I just claim it back off Optus anyway and be like, the reason I'm hacked is because of you motherfuckers? See, like, I'm not a person who lives in fear of hackers, right? Yeah. I know so many. My sister was hacked. A friend of ours, I'm not going to name her, was hacked by Facebook recently, and her messenger sent these messages. Hey, I need to talk to you. Can I ask you a really big favor? And I got a message from her sister saying basically, do not open anything from her, blah, blah, blah. And I got this message, oh my God, she needs my help. I'm going to respond.
Yeah, of course.
But because I'd already got the message saying don't respond to anything you get, I didn't. So I get that hackers are rampant as well. Yeah. But there's too many, like.
That's one side of the hacking, I guess, is when they hack your social media. But if they hack your identity, and they're able to then sort of do that, that's a bit more.
If it's not your fault though, and you lose money, the banks will
I think, yeah, oh yeah, of course.
But I read something online from. Do you ever follow? What's her name? Constance Hall. You know that one. She's a little bit.
I know the name.
She's the one. She's got a clothing range. She's the Queens. Follow her. She's like this big woman's lib woman, and everyone follows her. I follow her on Facebook. A hippie chick, but she was talking about something, this was ages before the Optus thing, about apparently she went to get a new rental and she got an email from the real estate. So she applied for a rental, got an email from the real estate saying her application had been approved and she had to pay a bond, and he was the BSV details that she needed to pay the bond into. Paid the bond into it, and then a week later found out from the real estate that their emails had been hacked. And the email had come from another place, and she paid $2,000 in bond, and they couldn't recover it. It wasn't their fault, even though their emails had been intercepted. Yeah, they took absolutely no responsibility. She lost $2,000. Blah 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 blah. She set up one of her fans set up a GoFundMe, and she got the money back. I'm sure times 1,000. Yeah. But I was shocked at how easy, and I sort of didn't believe it a little bit. Like, I was a little bit skeptical about the whole thing. But I think it's really that easy. And then Mum messaged me the other day and said, did you message me about losing your phone? And I said, no, I've never sent you a message. She goes, yesterday you messaged me about losing your phone. I said, Mum, someone's hacked your shit. Like, yeah. I didn't message you yesterday about losing my phone. I haven't lost my phone. Why would I? And I haven't seen my mum to talk to her about.
Yeah, where did the message come from? Did it come from?
Well, I don't know. And so I've seen the other ones.
But like
on
what
Facebook.
Account? Was it just another random phone number or
She
something?
said text message. I don't know. I haven't actually had the chance to talk to her, but I've seen the ones on Facebook going around where someone will go, Mum, I'm stuck. Can you help me? Can you transfer me some money? Because I can't access my accounts or something like that. And people transfer money to this account thinking they're helping their child. This is happening in Australia. I've seen it on like Australian feeds. So it's happening all over.
Oh, yeah.
But I think that my view, you know me, like,
yeah, I know.
Right? But like everything is done by your credit cards being online. Like I use PayPal for most things, right?
Yeah.
But really, if PayPal got hacked, then we'd all be fucked, wouldn't we? Because I don't. I do put my credit card details onto stuff when I have to in certain situations where they don't accept PayPal. But 99% of the time, most places accept PayPal, so I do it through PayPal.
Yeah.
Which is attached to my credit card and it feeds through them anyway. But I guess it's really a scary world that we're living in, Mike.
Yeah, it really annoys me too because obviously the people that are behind this are quite fucking switched on.
Well, I used to.
Why can't they just actually put that towards good instead of fucking robbing old people?
Well, I worked in banking and finance for years, and we used to have fraud people come to speak to us, every year or every so often they used to come. But I remember one of these fraud, like in the police, whatever, whoever he was saying that there's actually warehouses of people that sit there in offshore countries and sit there and like there's like a whole warehouse full of people sitting at computers just running scams like 24/7, like a call center. Like we have call centers everywhere, but it's a call center based on scams.
There's their fucking karma. It's like long gone are the days where you get an email from a Nigerian prince who owned a diamond mine who just needed you to give you bank details so he could transfer you $1 million. Like that type of shit. You're like, oh,
in one of my old jobs, I remember some chick like contacting us all the time about the fact that she couldn't be held accountable for shit because her dad got taken by one of those Nigerian scams and they'd lost hundreds of thousands of dollars because of it, and they were trying to claim it back through whatever method they got scammed through or whatever, but it was in a tribunal. It was going to take like 10 years before they ever saw money, and that was their reason for not paying shit. And I was like, fucking you'd fall into that scam, like seriously. But now it's much more sophisticated
and much
where
more.
It's not a Nigerian prince. It's like, hey, Mum, I need some money.
Yes. Yeah. It's crazy. They're clever, but it's fucking annoying.
I don't want to go and get a new license. Though, fuck, I like my license picture. I look cute in it. I'm cute in that motherfucker.
They might be able to reuse that.
Will they? If you can't guarantee that for me, then there's no deal.
Well, I'm pretty sure when I went to get my license renewed, they said to me, do you want to keep the old picture?
Yeah, but if they're having to recreate your license, so you're going to get a new license number. You know how your license number stays with you forever?
Yeah.
It's your license number that's the issue.
Yes.
So they're going to have to give you a whole new thing. So they're going to have to create you as a new identity, give you a new license number. They probably won't be able to transfer the photo over because they're creating you as a new person.
It's the same photo, yeah. Oh, well, look, it depends what's more important.
Watch this space.
Yeah, totally.
Look, I don't have a lot of money, hackers. I don't have a lot of cash. We had to afterpay Tyler's dental bills today, okay?
So we're small fries in your big
I'm not worth it. Just move on to someone else.
Move on. Stupid bitch. Up to
Your
me.
turn.
So I'm going to talk on the Emmy Awards, which were hosted recently.
Which I haven't seen anything about, really. And I normally am obsessed with the outfits and watch it. But for whatever reason, my feed hasn't showed it up. So I've just been out of the loop. So tell me everything. I want to hear it all. I'm normally obsessed with the Emmys.
Oh, well, I don't want to disappoint you. I've only got a couple of points on it. But they're good ones. So Lizzo, she won Most Outstanding Competition Program for Watch Out for the Big Girls, which I didn't even know existed. Did you?
No, but did she have something about using a president's wand or something, a president's stick or something? It was in the news, something about she was using something that's a 200-year-old relic and she got permission to use it in one of her performances during the show or something. I saw something like that.
A flute?
A flute, yes.
Yeah, she does play the flute quite well.
But it's like a presidential thing that's a relic that's been around for years and years and years, and she got formal permission to be able to use it in that performance. And it's like, how did Lizzo get it?
Very good.
I think it's a flute. I think it was a flute.
Well, she does
actually.
play the flourish.
Yeah.
She
So
doesn't
she
stick.
plays the flute.
She plays the flute. She doesn't stick it up her pussy like the chick from American Pie. She actually plays it with the mouth.
How did you segue there? How did you choose that?
This one time at
direction
band
to
camp, because it's the only other flute reference I know. But anyway, watch out for the big girls.
Get the
It's
flute up
actually,
you.
get it in ya. It's streaming on Amazon Prime. So you can watch it on Amazon Prime. It's been out for a while too. We watched some of the first episode of it and we're just a bit, So the concept of the show is basically she's looking for big girls to form part of her tour in 2022.
Sure.
So there'll be dancers on the tour. So it's like a American Idol, but big girls for dancers. But the thing that was big about it was it unseated RuPaul's Drag Race in that category, which had won that award for the 4 previous years of the Emmys.
Well, look, everybody loves Lizzo at the moment. Like, she can't do anything wrong. You love her. You play her songs for me repetitively.
You don't really like her, do you?
I wouldn't say that. I don't think I've spent enough time listening to her music. And when you played one song on the weekend, I was like, oh, I actually quite enjoy this song. But the rest of the songs that you were playing, I was like, oh, I don't know this.
Oh my God, how many did I play?
A few.
Oh my God. Yeah, I was thinking about that the next day. I remember singing on the couch, Maria being next to me.
Do you remember our old school thing where we were doing the whole thing where we were writing the list? Do you remember us writing? We both had double-sided lists.
You had God song. And then you're like, what does this say? And it was Manic Monday. It just was a series of bumps.
My handwriting is terrible when I'm sober, let alone when I'm drunk. Even I can't read it.
You're like, what is this? But she did dedicate.
Love that you knew what it was too. You were like, it was just basically all it was an M and fucking 20 afterwards.
Yeah. Manic Monday. But yes, Lizzo dedicated her win to all the big girls out there, especially her own that were on the show. Another bit of controversy, Olivia Newton-John, may she rest in peace. She was left out of the memoriam segment.
How dare they?
It was caused an uproar on social media by the fans. Do you know Jennifer Coolidge? Yes. Speaking of American Pie, Stifler's mum, she won her first Emmy for White Orchid, sorry. Have you seen any of that?
No, I haven't, but she's in that new terrifying one that I tagged you on the other day, the House Watcher.
Oh yes, I'm going to get to that too.
She's in that too. But I do love her, not just as
Legally Blonde.
Legally Blonde.
Yeah.
I think she's great. I've got a lot of time for her.
So that was her first Emmy when she was up there and she's like, oh my God, she's talking away. And she's like, oh, wow, pretty much like she would be in any of her movies. And she's like, oh, my speech, but she'd crunched a speech up in her hand because she was so, and it's all sweet. She's like, ah.
She's got that real honeydew voice too, doesn't she?
Yes.
Like that real girly girl voice. Yeah.
Thanks. And she was talking and she was doing it and she was getting all the laughs and shit. Then of course the music started playing. She's like, no, don't do this. This is huge. Like this is never gonna happen for me again, blah, blah, blah. And then they started playing the music after the music when they're cutting you off. And so she just started dancing on stage instead. And got a big applause for that. 100%.
I will speak, please. I will speak over the music and you'll have to forcibly remove it from the stage.
And hanging onto the mic.
Fuck off. Yeah. No! This is my phone!
Yeah. Another big bit of controversy was Jimmy Kimmel got in a bit of hot water with a little comedy skit that he did on the night, sparking some backlash for stealing the spotlight from the winner of the award that he announced, Quinta Brunson. So during the award ceremony, Kimmel...
Quinta Brunson?
So I'll get to that. So during the award ceremony, Kimmel and Will Arnett presented the award.
I'm a Jimmy Fallon fan. I'm a Jimmy Kimmel fan, by the way.
Okay. I did like the stuff that Jimmy Kimmel did where he'd get the parents to, after Halloween, prank their kids by recording them and saying, I'm really sorry, but I ate all your Halloween candy last night.
I've seen that,
yeah. And some of the kids are beautiful and they're like, oh, that's okay, Mama. That's okay. And some of the others are like, what do you mean?
Scratch your eyes out.
Yeah, candy. But yeah, so yes, they presented the award for outstanding writing for a comedy series. with Arnett dragging Kimmel onto the stage, who was pretending to have passed out from drinking too many margaritas. Arnett quipped that Kimmel had drowned his sorrow backstage due to his disappointment, this being the 13th time in a row that he's lost. It was an amusing skit, but the joke was stretched past beyond breaking point when Quinta Brunson, took to the stage to accept her prize for her ABC series, Abbott Elementary, which was her first Emmy. And Kimmel remained on stage, lying right next to her, making it impossible to capture her speech without including Kimmel's body in the frame. Twitter soon lit up with outrage as Abbott Elementary fans expressed anger at Kimmel for drawing so much attention to himself during Brunson's big moment. Brunson's fans, who had watched her ascend from creating viral Instagram videos to BuzzFeed to then creating an Emmy Award-winning show, felt that Kimmel's commitment to his joke was in poor taste, coming across as deeply entitled.
Yeah, I see that.
Yes, that's my Emmy's bitch.
I'd be pissed too.
Yeah, totally. Be like, just get him the fuck out. And she even interacted with him. She's like, it's okay, Jimmy. I won. You can wake up now. And he just laid there still the whole time. Yeah, so it got a bit like, okay, dude, it's not just about you now. Get up and go.
And she's...
So what else you got?
Okay, so my very last one is It's All Coming Up, Sarah Jessica Parker Plus.
Oh, just like that.
I know. And look, I know that we do tend to talk about her from time to time. She has featured heavily on the podcast.
She has.
Love her or hate her, horse face or not, or foot face, if you will. Is that the sound? What's the one? Oh, no, it's Family Guy. What's the one that says she looks like a foot?
Yeah, they actually have her with a foot with a face on it.
With
yeah,
a face on it. It's
Family
Family Guy. I think it's Family Guy. Yeah,
they're terrible to her.
They're terrible to her. So she has just been renewed for another season of Just Like That. Hocus Pocus just came out last week. It's been released. She's getting on in her years though. They have to do some fucking really creative, lighting and makeup to really get her to look at the piece because she's old as fuck.
Yeah. And
she hasn't aged well. But she suddenly left the ballet. Did you hear about this? Hang on,
No.
I'm going to tell you what ballet it is. I looked it up because I wanted to check. So she was honoured. She's very she's all in the style. She's all in the what do you call it? Charity stuff and all that yada yada yada.
Yes.
So there was the New York City Ballet Fall Fashion Gala, which is huge in New York. Ballet is massive in New York. It's this huge thing. So she was being honoured and suddenly had to leave because of a devastating family situation. So I follow, what's her name in real life? What's Charlotte's name?
Which one's Charlotte?
Kristen Davis. Charlotte's the brunette.
Melrose. Yeah.
Yes.
Correct.
So I was following her and I saw her in this beautiful ball gown saying, yes, I'm really excited to go and honour SJP at the New York City Ballet for Fashion. It's about time she's been honoured. Like, it's such a great honour for me to be there. And President, we just love you, blah, 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 blah. And I thought, oh, and I went to look at SJP's page just to see what she wore because, that's what I do. I stalk some of these stars sometimes and just try to piece together the scenario of what's happening in their lives and live through that.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, there's nothing on there. She hasn't posted her outfit. I thought that was a little bit strange, but anyway, I didn't think anything of it. And then it popped up today that she had to skip it, and it was before, like the whole gala was in her honor because she had a sudden devastating family situation, which hasn't been reported about what it was. But she rocked up and she was there, and then she had to leave within like 5 minutes of showing up because of the sudden devastating family situation.
Okay, so I wonder what it was.
I know. I've scoured the internet trying to find out.
She's still with Matthew Broderick, isn't she?
Yes. And so the twins were there, and I was actually going to talk about this and say, oh my God, the twins look completely different. But then I thought, I know someone who has twins that look completely different.
Yeah. They're not that
That's not that shocking, really.
No.
But I mean,
sometimes they can be boy and girl twins too.
I know. but like completely different. Like you would never think they're even sisters. That's how different.
Okay, yeah.
And I was a bit surprised about that. So at the Hocus Pocus movie
True.
premiere last week, it was Matthew Broderick and the daughters who were conceived by surrogate, if you remember. But they're about, I think they're about Link's age, or maybe a little bit younger or a little bit older. So they're not babies anymore, obviously.
Yeah.
So she's, swanned them out for the premiere of Hocus Pocus. But
that meme you sent me today on Hocus Pocus was fucking hilarious. The premiere of Bet, SJP, and I can never remember the third
Kathy
one.
Najimy.
And I love her because she was in Veronica's Closet as well.
She's in heaps of shit. I actually love her too.
She's hilarious. She was in My Big Fat Greek Wedding too, wasn't she? Or is that Australian?
No, that's not. She wasn't in My Big Fat Greek Wedding.
Oh no, Sister Act.
Yeah, she's in heaps. Heaps.
And then someone posted a shot, where's Samantha?
I wet myself about that too, and that's so too. What about the other thing that I sent you about the car falling in the sinkhole?
Oh yeah.
And I was like, this is how my year's going on. And I messaged it. I think I tagged you on Thursday. I was like, I feel like this is my week.
Those sinkholes are fucking scary shit, aren't they?
The car's just like
slowly going. Someone's filming it. That's 2022 going. Good.
I love that.
But yeah, so my last one that I was going to touch on, you've mentioned quickly, because of Jennifer Coolidge, The Watcher. I was going to talk about some of Ryan Murphy's projects that he's got coming up.
It looks truly horrifying.
Yes.
Like it looks, had you seen the trailer before I tagged you in it?
I hadn't seen the trailer, but I've heard of that case before because it's based on true story.
It's true story. I know. And I was watching the trailer and I was like, this is literally chilling me to the bone. And it's got Naomi Watts in, who I also massively love.
Yeah. So I'm sure that this version of it is going to ham up the actual true story immensely.
Because
I think I think the true story started with, so basically it's a couple move into a house and they start getting letters from a guy called The Watcher. Basically, you've moved into my house. I watch this house. I'll be watching everything you do, yada, yada, yada.
You're in my world now.
Yes.
You are mine. You are everything to me. This will not end good for you.
That's
You're
right.
Much fucked.
Yeah. So I think in the real version of it, they got a couple of letters and nothing ever actually happened. Like that.
And
was
the
sort
husband is Rose Byrne's husband in real life, who was in the one with Melissa McCarthy where they
Bridesmaids.
The Aussie one. With Nicole Kidman, where they went to the place.
I know who wrote. Oh yeah.
So you know the
Nine
one
Perfect Strangers.
And so Bobby Cannavale is the one who is Melissa McCarthy's love interest in it. The guy who was the ex-football player.
Yes, yeah.
Tall guy.
Was he married to Rose Byrne?
He's in real life. They've got 2 children together. Yeah.
He was in Will and Grace as well. He was Will's husband.
Oh, shut up! In the later seasons, I didn't know.
In the first run of it. I don't think he comes back.
But the later seasons in the first run, you mean?
Yes. Yeah. And he's also in a great movie with Robin Williams called The Night Listener. He plays.
I know that film. I haven't seen it though. I
really
can't watch anything with Robin Williams now. I can't do anything.
Well,
Robin
there's
Williams.
a book on it.
It makes me fucking too sad.
There's
That's
a book.
I think it's Stephen King, isn't it?
No, it's oh my god, and I'm going to kill myself. It's a guy who did Tales of the City.
Oh, that guy, Q or
no, I think things start with E.
Hank or
Erned. What's his
I do
fucking
love
name? Armistead Maupin.
That's it.
Yes, yeah. So I can't remember what. Oh yeah, The Night Listener. Yeah, that was good. But it's some other projects that he's got coming up. So Ryan Murphy he's doing The Watcher. He's also does American Crime Story, which had the O.J. Simpson one, the Versace killer.
Yes, and also the one that you loved, the Linda Tripp one.
Oh, fuck me, of course, Impeachment. Fuck me, that was brilliant. Yeah. Sarah Paulson got nominated for an Emmy for that.
That was Ryan Murphy too.
Yes.
All of those are Ryan Murphy.
They are, yeah. He does the American Crime Story. So the next installment of American Crime Story is Studio 54.
Oh, stop it. That would be amazing. So Link and I got really obsessed with the OJ one. And we haven't actually finished it. We got sidetracked by it all, and we
Oh.
never finished it. So
Yeah, all of them are
because
brilliant.
that's the first one, isn't it? OJ's
Yes.
the first one. Yeah.
Then it's a Versace killer, which is amazing. It's so good.
Yeah.
And then fucking impeachment, which just blew my mind. I was obsessed with it.
But just before you move on, can I just say one thing about Naomi Watts quickly, which is another one that I think that you'll love. So she's in everything at the moment, obviously. Have you seen, I think it's called Mother or The Mother or something?
Yeah,
so
I haven't seen it, but is that the one with
trailer with the two young boys, and they go, so the dad sends them to stay with their mum, and she's covered in bandages.
Yeah.
And she's like a psycho, but they can never see her face. And they get there and they're like, Dad didn't tell us that you were in an accident. She's like, well, I've been in an accident, covered in bandages. And like the two little boys are quite young, like maybe 8,
so
9,
scared
10,
as shit.
and scared as shit, and also know that there's something off, and it's like this psychological thriller where she's that you don't know if it's her or if it's some fucking imposter or something, and it looks messed up. Like I was watching the trailer, it came up on my feed, and I tagged my sister and my mum, and I was like, this looks fucked up, and they were both like, yes, can't wait to watch it.
I've seen it coming up on Netflix, but I haven't perused.
Yeah, it looks it looks like twisted.
Okay, cool. I look forward to watching it. Some other things is coming up, so new ones. So you know who does American Horror Story, American Crime Story, American Horror Stories? He's now coming up American Love Story, which is going to be based on John Kennedy Jr. and Carolyn Bessette Kennedy.
Ooh, that's a little bit nicer.
That'll be interesting.
Totally, because I told you about how we're watching The Crown by Tyler's Choice. That was his choice. And so remember how I said I watched the first season and loved it, but never really continued because I got distracted by other things. So Tyler and I are now past the point where I got, and it's just getting fucking better and better and better. And
really?
we ended, and Tyler's just like, I love this show, which is like all about the royals in the olden days.
Yeah,
like,
it's interesting though, isn't it? Yeah. See, I wanted to put that on the other day when we were looking for something new to watch, and Vinny was like, nah, and that's when we ended up watching Americans. But I'm still going to persist with The Crown. But we'll go through Americans first.
So good. The historical
I think it'd be interesting.
Relevance of it.
Yeah.
And the chick who plays the Queen is a fucking boss. And just everything she does, and Tyler just ends every episode going, she's a fucking bomb diggity. He loves her.
What season are you up to?
So we're just about to start season 2. So I thought I'd seen the first season and part of the second season, but I actually hadn't. I only got to about maybe episode 8 in the first season. I think there's 10.
Yeah, because you're telling me about the, I was going to say Gough Whitlam. Fucking what's his name?
Winston Churchill.
Winston Churchill's secretary.
And it's that guy from, I always think of him, and he's in 1,000 different things from 30 Rock of the Sun. Who's the dad?
Third Rock from the Sun.
Third Rock from the Sun. Who's the dad?
Yeah, I know who you mean.
He's into everything. He's such a big star. I can't think of his name right now.
John Lithgow?
Yes. Yeah. And you actually adore Winston Churchill. Like you are watching it just going, what a fucking dude. He's old as shit. And in the end, the Queen makes him step down. She's like, enough's enough. You're too old. You're too sick.
Does she?
You can't, like, she doesn't make him. She's got no, she actually
just
can't.
says to him.
She's just like, you got to call it quits. You can, like, he's like hobbling in everywhere. He has all the, and they lie to her for a little while about how sick he is, and she finds out and fucking smashes them. And she's only like fucking 25.
Isn't that crazy that her reign has included Winston Churchill as Prime Minister?
It's so cool. And she's just like, this woman who didn't want the crown, and her husband's resentful of it, and she's got small children. She doesn't know what she's doing, and she's uneducated in terms of what all these men and it's all men, and they're all manipulating her.
And in that time
constantly. Winston never really manipulates her. He just tells her, you cannot do this because of the crown. And she's like, but I want to. And he's like, no, you can't. Whereas everyone else manipulates her.
Yeah.
Except for the time he faked his sickness. And he made them all lie about how sick he was. And she already knew before he was sick that he was on his last legs. And she's like, I don't think you can do this job, man. I can't tell you what to do, but you're fucking old and you're sick. And then he gets really sick, and they all lie to her, and she pulls them all in and goes,
enough.
No more. Enough's enough. Like, you
Good on
can't be
her.
the head of state. You can't be the Prime Minister of England, the most powerful fucking country ever, and just be sick and hub. And I said to Tyler at one point, I was like, does it not remind you a little bit of like everything that goes on with Joe Biden about how he's really old?
Yeah.
People are always like saying he's so sick. But
Sleepy Joe Biden.
Winston Churchill's mind was still there.
Yeah.
But he couldn't physically travel internationally and attend things that he needed to attend and be the voice of reason because he was so ill and so old.
Yeah.
She's like, you need to fucking train someone else to be just as good as you.
Yeah, you can't hold on to this forever. You're not the fucking queen, bitch.
Yeah. Oh, so good. But, honestly, it's just such, and they just tell it in such a fucking classy way that you're just loving everything. And you know the history behind it to a degree. Like you sort of know where it's going, but you're just like, oh, and it's all like imagined. Like it's not, it's based on history and based on people who've said certain things, but it's still fiction.
Yeah. Based on true events.
It's such a great series. Like, and they've
I do want to watch it.
Apparently they've just cast I can't wait to get to the Princess Di. I cannot wait to see
I want to see Margaret Thatcher as well. She would be great.
Yeah, who is Gillian fucking
Anderson. That's right. I remember that, yeah.
And she won an award, I think, for doing it as well.
Yeah, that's probably how I know it was her, yeah.
And so they've just cast apparently Harry and Meghan.
Wow.
For the newest series.
So they're jumping. There must be big jumps in between seasons.
They do. So it's up to season 5, I think. But I don't think Harry and Meghan are this one. So season 5 is about to come out, but they're filming season 6. And I think Harry and Meghan are going to be in that one.
Interesting. Because apparently, too, it was only meant to go for 4 seasons. And then they did another season and another season because it's just so good and people want to lap it up.
You would think it was as good, like you would think, because it's so historical and like, you would think that it would get, and it does get bogged down in a bit of the detail, but it's fucking fascinating. Fascinating.
It'll be interesting the take they put on the Meghan Markle side of it.
Yes.
Meghan Markle. And the final little project I want to talk about from Ryan Murphy that he's working on is American Sports Story.
Ooh,
which sounds,
Tyler will love that.
Well, it sounds boring to me, but it's based on that NFL guy, Aaron Hernandez.
Tyler will love it.
I will love it now.
That will probably be the thing that makes him love Ryan Murphy and want to watch everything Ryan Murphy after that. And then we'll just have him hooked from then and he'll be like, okay, I'll watch anything now.
Well, you got to do Feud as well, yeah. Which is his.
We've got to build him into that. We've got to build him into that stuff. We've got to get him hooked in some other way and then just slowly
drip feed him into it. Yeah.
Influence his direction.
So that was it from me.
That's it from me.
And that's it from you. Anyway, well, thanks for listening. We hope you enjoyed our take on the current affairs that are currently affairing in this current world.
Tune in next week for another international special true crime as we get fiddly-dee and head to Sean's husband Vinny's territory, the Emerald Isle. Stupid bitch. What grisly cases do we have in store for you? Tune in and find out. Good night, stupid bitches. Good night.
Good night. Good night. Bye, stupid bitches. Yeah, that stupid bitch. He's a stupid bitch. What a stupid bitch. That's stupid.